What's up, everyone? Here we are again with another Rags to Riches podcast. Man, these weeks are absolutely flying by. Anyway, so today I'm super stoked to have on the podcast a young entrepreneur who was originally a 3-time school dropout, who many around him would have said was a failure, and now someone who has, I would say, has found absolute happiness in what he does today. He's someone who really sends out a good message, someone who works on his craft every single day, and he's kind of created all of that himself, which is really kind of a rags to riches story. So, yeah, without further ado, his name is Mr. Digital Pratik, although I don't think that was his actual birth name. Maybe he'll let us know a bit more about him in a bit. So without further ado, Mr. Digital Pratik, are you there, my friend?
I am always here to bring value to other people. I am right here, right now, all yours. Bring it on.
Good man, thank you for coming on to my podcast today. I'm really interested actually to hear your story because what interests me is that the culture in India, having lived here for nearly 6 years now, is slightly different from the UK or the Western culture. And when I say different, I mean the family being more accepting of things like dropping out of school. Now, for instance, you are quite blatantly advertising the whole dropping out of school, and I did the same thing myself, actually 3 times like yourself. But I just think generally, maybe in the UK, that's quite of an accepted thing.
Yes.
Sorry, I just received a call. I think it's more of a accepted thing, if that makes sense. And since I've been in India, I can see people face a bit of a tougher problem when it comes to the pressure, let's say, from parents and what they want. Does that make sense?
Yes, indeed. That's true. That's perfectly or like 100% correct, Richard. And trust me, like Indian families, I have a picture of me like doing this kind of thing where I have my hand in front of my face, and I have this picture on my About Us page. Where I'm saying that most of the Indian families, if they have a kid who is a dropout or who is not good in education, it's kind of a shame. Like that trend is slowly and steadily changing. But yes, when I took a drop, like it was like 2009, 10, 11, 12, 14, like, you know, that era which we were, when engineering was like booming like anything, IT sectors were going great. There was nothing like digital India concept that much. Right, and now that digital India concept is super going well. People are slowly and steadily accepting. Like before this podcast, which we are doing right now, like I was doing a paid consultation call with 17-year-old kid, and his entire family is into digital stuff. His mom is into business. His mom has already taken paid consultation from me 3 days ago. Now his son is taking for his YouTube journey, and he's totally okay. His mother is totally okay for his kid to be like, he is still about to appear for this 12th standard board examinations. All right, and still he's taking a paid consultation call over a Zoom call for YouTube career to become a social media influencer, and his mother and his dad is totally okay. So yes, things are changing in India, but yep, it has been a tradition that you have to go to engineering college, and things were not that easy when I took the drop. All right, because like it was not easy, and that's the reason why it took me 3 times, or else I would have done it in one go. Like the moment I took my first drop, I was not that confident. I was a little bit fearful. I was having that pressure of family, and I had to go back twice. Then 3rd time it was like all set. I'm not looking back, no matter what happens. And my entire family, my friends, there was nobody. I was all alone.
So what was the first reason, like when the first dropout? Was that just the start of the journey to realizing I don't want to be in formal education, and then you going back, was that because of pressure?
No, the first reason why I took a drop is because my dad got a paralytic stroke. He was in hospital, and because of his health issues, I had to come to like the family. All right. And my college and the family where it used to be there, the hospital was, it was like 60 kilometers. And the time when he got a stroke was somewhere around May, June. All right, that's where his health was a little bit shaky. So, and during those times, we have external examinations in India, all right, during the semesters and all those things. So I was not able to appear for the examinations. I was not able to take the examinations, and I had to take one drop. Now in Indian system, what we have in education is like in the even semester, it was an even semester. So it was the 6th semester for which I was not able to take the examinations. So obviously my 5th semester is clear. So now I can definitely go in college and sit for the 7th semester, which is an odd semester. But I couldn't sit for the 8th semester. Why? Because my last even semester was not clear, which is 6th semester.
Right.
So that's the reason why it was a drop. But then while I was doing 7th semester, I was not able to focus. I was not able to concentrate. All right, because of the health issues of my dad, the family, financial crisis. And at the same point in time, fortunately or unfortunately, however the audience is taking right now, but fortunately or unfortunately, one of my friends, Soham Natwani, I still remember him, like he is in the US. We are not in touch, but I still remember that moment when he handled me a book, which is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And at that point in time, like that book was crazy. Like, you know, right now Robert Kiyosaki has a lot of books, but at that point in time, there were only 3 or 4 books which he had introduced, out of which this was the first book. I read that book, followed by Cash Flow Quadrants, and I realized that yes, this is not the only education. Financial education is something different. All right. And that's where the journey of me understanding different things as an Indian kid started. So yes, then because of my family pressure and everything, I had to go back to college twice because I was not able to take that stand. But finally, the 3rd time I did, and it was the same procedure. Right? It was the same procedure. Because I was not clearing the 6th semester, I am not able to sit for the 8th semester. And that's the same process. So whenever the 7th semester is there, odd semester, I'm going, but at the same point in time, I'm not able to focus, so I'm coming back.
So were you not able to focus through like the 2nd and 3rd time you dropped out? Was it because of the same issues with your father that you dropped out these times, or did it change then? Did you drop out the 2nd time for different reasons?
The different reason is that I was not able to focus. I wanted to do something else. I was not able to concentrate.
Because of this idea in your head, you'd read these books and
yes.
So it changed from that point.
Exactly. And on top of that, like in engineering, when you are into electronics and communications engineer, that was the field which I was into. That was the majors. So during the first 4 semesters, what happens is you are into purely into networking. Networking in the sense, the circuits. So those kind of subjects are there. And I used to like that. Why? Because I scored 94 out of 100 in my physics examination in 12th standard. So I was very good at the circuits. I used to like love the circuits and boards and everything. So till 4th semester, it was fine. But after 5th semester, the subjects which were there were related to communications, related to antenna, related to signals. And probably 2 things happened at the same point in time. My interest in those subjects was not there. At the same point in time, dad health issues, and I was reading these management books, financial education. So both the things going all together created some hybrid thought in me, which was like telling me that no, this is not for me, this is not for me, this is not for me. And that's where the 3rd drop came into picture.
Yeah, it sounds very similar to me in terms of, well, it was my first drop when I went to university, and I was doing a subject that some parts of it I really enjoyed and I did well in. And then I just found myself sitting and listening in a lecture, and I was learning about economics. And I thought to myself, this is not really what I don't want to spend X amount of hours of this semester learning about economics, you know? I'm not saying it's not important, but to me, I just wasn't prepared to sit, and I would rather be spending that time elsewhere. It seemed like a waste of time for me. So did you feel that education was just not, did you feel like it was a waste of time?
Not at all. Not at all. Not even a single %. All right. That used to be the case with my parents. My parents used to think that all the money which they have invested in my engineering studies, because I'm not an engineer, it was a waste of money for them, but not for me. What I did was I always used to be the captain of the house or secretary of Computer Society of India or president of IEEE student branch. I always used to lead some or the other way. I always used to be like somewhere in the communication part, somewhere in the sports, volleyball, badminton, cricket, everywhere. So at the end of the day, I always was building connections. All right, like I always used to have strong connections with teachers, sirs, irrespective of me whether I'm excelling in the studies or not. And that's where like slowly and steadily I was self-auditing myself. Like if I go back, like in my first standard, all right, if I go back to my first standard class, like I was not able to appear for the examination. Why? Because at that point in time my mom was pregnant once again. I was expecting a sister, and like I was not able to go to the school in first standard. Can you imagine? Like, and I've actually dropped in first standard. I repeated first standard, and all of a sudden something, maybe some kind of DNA changed. And since then, since first standard till 12th standard, I was the monitor, the leader of the class. In India, we have, I don't know about the UK like education, but in India we have like a student monitor who leads, all right, who leads the class. So I always used to be the monitor. I always used to be the captain of the houses and things like that. So that's where my self-audit came into picture. And like I never feel that a single point in my education was a waste of time. Not a single second.
Yeah, I can see how you are changing that. It's definitely a different view. But let's say the way I'm referring to it as a waste of time in my eyes is because in universities in the UK, like I was paying a hell of a lot of money for this. I was kind of pushed through college and directed into university, and this is what you need to go and do. And we were funneled that way. And I'm still aware that I'm paying, 3 point something lakh, which is a lot more now, for a year. And I was just thinking, I'm not paying this amount of money to sit in 2 hours of economics, for instance. So I really considered it a waste of time. And this is why I just dropped out there and then. I said, no, I'm not doing it, you know. But I was lucky in the sense that me telling that to my mum was accepted straight away. She just believes in what my instinct says. Was that hard with your parents?
Yes, indeed. That's what I said, that I was all alone. Nobody was with me. My parents were not supportive.
No one at all. So
no one at all.
In your life, even friends who said, "Okay, you can do it," anything like that.
Nobody. Not even my closest friend. My closest friend whom I can tell that he is the brother from another mother. All right. He is brother from another mother to me. He met me in college. He is my best buddy, and right now as well, he is my best buddy. All right. And right now he is supporting me. In 2017, when he finally figures out that yes, I'm doing something, there is something in the 7 years of span of time which I did since 2010 to 2017. And then he finally figured out, he was having a conversation with me. I was talking about what I'm doing. I'm telling that I'm building Alexa skills, and he's like, what the F? Like, what is this Alexa skills? Because he's into programming, and I'm doing some kind of programming in Alexa skills over here, building Alexa skills. I already have my Alexa skills live, and he's like, what is this? And that's where he started learning Alexa skills in 2017. And since then, right now, he's having, as a side hustle, he's having his own agency into Alexa skill development. So now he understands what I'm telling. But it took me 6-7 years to convince my closed one as well, including my parents.
But the difference is, I bet you we're not convincing them. You're not saying to people, listen, I'll convince you. You are just simply
executing
on with your job.
100%. Yeah. I'm on my way. I'm on my way and letting people to come on my way. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. So what I want people to listen to from just something that I take away from what you're saying, and what I've thought generally, is that if people are thinking about going on their own journey, to drop out, to go and follow their heart, you should be able to do this without the support of anyone. It should be so strong in your heart what you want to do that it doesn't require even the closest members of your family to say this is correct, you know?
Yep.
If you simply follow that, which is normally right, eventually your closest family and friends, as you just said, will realize that this is actually what he was saying X amount of years ago.
100%, and I'll tell you that path is not at all easy. That path is not at all easy. In that path, you yourself will feel that no, I'm on the wrong track, and that is what happened with me. I went through 2 different depressions. Trust me, 2 different depressions, and then the second depression, like I don't remember the first depression where I overcome, because there was a moment where I overcome it, but I don't remember how. But yes, I have definitely overcome. The second depression I clearly remember, it was April 2014 around, when somebody handed me a book which was The Magic from Rhonda Brand. I have already read The Secret, I have already read The Power. Now The Magic comes into picture. Now after I have read Secret and The Magic, The Power, it was all about like reading. But The Magic consists of 28 days magical journey where we are practicing gratitude every single day. And at that point in time, I used to stay in one room, and in that room I had if you remember, I don't know in the UK if you did that or not, but we used to have chart papers on which we used to draw, like these big chart papers. So I used to have those chart papers with me, and all those chart papers I sticked on my walls, like surrounding me. So whenever I wake up, or whenever I'm in the room, or whenever I sleep, I'm just around that. So entire wall around me was with those chart papers, and on those chart papers there were 12 different segments affirmation, positive affirmations, 10 to 15 positive affirmations which I wrote on all the chart papers, and I had glued them on my walls, so that like I just don't want to feed anything else. At that point in time, probably I didn't know what podcast is, and people were not even doing podcast that much, like positive podcasts. So I used to consume these kind of information. I used to surround myself with positive affirmations all the time. I used to just say it aloud whenever I'm free, no matter what. And that's where I reprogrammed myself, and I went through that 28 days magical journey of The Magic book. And that's where something happened, and that since then I'm not even looking back. Since then, like my mind is so strong that no matter what, I'll do something if I want. It will take 10 years, 15 years, but yes, I won't just walk away from the path which I'm walking on.
Yeah, I think it's quite, I've noticed this in a lot of people, is that these books, lots of people have read and just completely changed their way of being. Now, I have read them myself, but now I look at them now and I think not negatively of them. I see it as quite gimmicky, but I have to admit the kind of revelations at the point in time where my mind was, and how it just pushed me in the right direction. Since then, I've come across, let's say, developments from that way of thinking, stoicism, and more so philosophy books coming out of that. But I think you're onto something when you say, these books, I think, need to be recommended to people who are in that mind where they're thinking, I want to start something, or I feel like going on a different journey.
I'll tell you, Richard, these books should be recommended to people who are serious about execution, no matter what, because only reading these books won't help them. Like the same thing happened with me. I had already read The Secret and The Power, still I was into depression. What went wrong? The wrong thing which was there in my life was lack of execution in 2013. Because even after I'm reading this, what I'm thinking is, just by sitting, closing my eyes, visualizing what I want, 4 BHK bungalow, things like that, I will have it in my life. That's what happens, right? That's what happens. And then in 2014, when I read The Magic, I was actually practicing gratitude, doing my work consistently as a call center guy. Like I was scaling anything. I was upselling like anything. I was working at directmobiles.co.uk where I was like selling mobile plans in the UK itself. There was a company in the UK itself, right? So I was in a call center of the UK process, and we were just selling the postpaid plans, prepaid plans. And along with that, I was the champ of upselling power banks, right? And that's what I was just executing along with the magic practice, the magical book practice. So execution is something which is lacking after reading all these books.
Yeah, this is true. Because I think people fall into the sense of, you get such a good feeling and a change in your way of thought from reading the first few books, that nothing actually teaches you to actually the law of attraction. As you start to think about, oh my God, this is a new thing. I can just magically think about where I want to be, and I want this car and all this. Yes, it could be true, but the fact is, you have to get up and you have to execute this every day.
Yes, 100%.
And it's something I've noticed that you do, and something that I don't know how to say it.
Like I'll tell you a plain and simple example. Right now you are in Sandoz, you have these biceps, you have these triceps, you have worked your ass off to build those things, to build those muscles, to have a calisthenic career where people can trust in you, people can trust in your talent. All right, it wouldn't have been happen over in the night. A lot of people are learning calisthenics, a lot of people are not practicing calisthenics. So there is a difference between learning calisthenics and then practicing calisthenics every single day for the next 1 year and having injuries in your life. Because unless and until you don't have injuries, unless and until you don't walk inverted on the wall, like you don't do inverted walks, your shoulder strength is not going to improve. Yeah, like you better know that, right?
Yeah, I think lots of people are apprehensive to the fact that they see somewhere where they want to be, but don't come to realize that, you know, even getting to that point, you might have to do years of feeling like you've gotten is very, very small increments in improvement.
Yes.
And this is for gym work, and this is for example, doing the kind of work you're doing. How many years would you say it's taken to build a significant following? And when I say significant, I mean we're talking 10,000 and up to where you are now. How long has that taken you?
I was putting up content seriously, like when I say seriously, probably 90% seriousness since 2014 when I started. Yes, I was doing blogging and all those shit since earlier, like 2011, 12ish. But if I'm serious about something where I came into digital marketing and I started applying serious things into blogging, I booked my first ever domain and all those things since 2014. And then seriousness, super seriousness came into picture July 2017 it was. Because I started following Gary Vaynerchuk in 2015. Somebody introduced me in December 2015, and since then I started following him. In the early stages, even I was not getting what he's trying to tell, but the more I consumed him, the better I was understanding him, the philosophies, the disciplines, the content which he's trying to explain. All right, and then slowly and steadily in 2017, I'm super serious about my digital Pratik thing, because till that point in time there was actually no digital Pratik. It was my real name, which is Pratik Singh Chudasama. All right, which is what, like, probably now you know my real name. All right, so that's the thing which was going on all the time. And in 2017 I'm starting this particular channel and I'm putting up my content. I started my calisthenics journey in July 2017. That's where I started documenting my fitness journey along with my marketing stuff. All right, so I became serious. I applied, and in till 2018, mid 2018, so last year same time, I probably might have like 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 followers. Not more than that. Though I don't give a shit about the number, but yes, just because you asked, I'm just saying that. Because for me, it's more about the engagement, more about the connection. Like, so 3,000, 5,000 followers, because recently I have been getting call consultations booked by people who have been following me since past 1 year, 2 year. And what they are saying is they are happy to connect with me right now. Why? Because last year I only had 4,000, 5,000 followers, and they are following me since then. They are seeing my growth, and that's where they are trusting, and that's where they are doing what I'm telling them to do, because it is working for me. So the significant increase, if I tell you, it is since May 2018. That's where I really super focused on all these things. I started with more of Alexa skills. I started with more of grooming my team, which I was just visualizing that if I have a team, if I want to hire people, what kind of people I should be having in my team, what kind of content I should be having so that I can attract those kind of talent with me and things like that. So what I was closely doing is just watching Gary Vee and the way he's growing himself so that I can be a good student of his and do the same thing at my level for my brand, for my team and everything. So it can be said like 1 year. That's where I seriously focused upon daily content, enormous amount of content and quality content.
So I think, would you agree, people, they would like to start their own journey, doing something like simply get put off, and they quit, let's say, because they don't get enough affirmation. They don't get enough people saying, this is great, and they don't get the engagement that what you're saying. But it sounds like when we're talking about significant engagement and it's really happening for you, you just pretty much saying the last year, since 2018. But prior to that, you've said it was pretty, you're still doing it, you're still pretty serious, but you're not getting anywhere near as much affirmation and contact and networking as you have done the past year.
Yes.
So is it something you would, because I'm trying to let people listening who want to start their own thing, I really like to let people realize that just be prepared to do years without this type of affirmation, without people patting you on the back and saying, you are the greatest, this is really good, blah, blah, blah. Just be prepared to do years without that.
I mean, see, I'll tell you, in our native mother tongue, like in Gujarati, we have a saying that Ghasaine ujda thau. I'm sure you won't understand that, but the thing is, like, the more you rub a stone, it will turn into a diamond. Alright? So to create a diamond, you have to rub the stone so much that it creates a diamond from itself. So that's what you have to understand. Like, you have to rub your ass off for at least like 3, 5, 6, 7 years, depending upon how much you put in the effort. So everybody has a different capability. It is like similar to 100 students going to a college, being mentored by the same teacher or sir, being mentored in the same college, being mentored with the same syllabus at the same point in time, but you'll still see that only there is one topper out of 100 students. Alright, because of the application which is there with respect to the 100 students. Everybody applies on a different level and they apply based on their levels, their mindset, their capacities.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that simple logic of college with respect to digital marketing or anything they do online. Because now social media influencers are becoming fancy. Just because some 17-year-old kid might just crack it in Shopify, every 17-year-old kid thinks that they also can do that. But they don't realize that what they are made for.
This is true. So I want to get something from you. I want you to try and give some advice to people listening. And this could be actually, and I've said to other people on the podcast, if you were to give yourself 3 pieces of information looking back at Pratik as a 18, 19-year-old, what would that be now?
Like, I just actually yesterday only, while I was on an Instagram live video, somebody just asked that on that live video, and I had answered that same thing, that what I would suggest to my 17-year-old or 18-year-old young. All right, and I just said that I will give an advice that keep executing. That's it, nothing else. I can show it to you right over here. This is the story which I have posted. All right, check this out. This is the exact story which I have posted. And somebody who was actually watching that Instagram live video posted back, reposted on the story, and he said the best answer I got till now from Varun, who was the guest, and from me, where I just said I will give advice to 18-year-old Pratik, is keep executing. Keep executing and you will definitely win in the next 5 years. Believe in your content which you want to put out, believe in your creativity which you want to show to the world, believe in your talent which you have to groom for the next 5 years, and that's it. Period. End of story.
The problem is you're saying you'd give that advice. Now you can only give that advice if you think you didn't follow that advice. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, I'm totally confused.
So you can only go back to speak to Pratik as a 19-year-old and tell him to keep executing if from the age of 19 you didn't keep executing. However, if from the age of 19 up till now you have simply kept executing, then you can't give that advice.
That's what I said. Like, since 18, that's what I said. I was not able to execute a lot.
So you're saying
you remember exactly. You remember when I said I read The Secret, The Power? Yeah. I was not able to execute and I went into depressions. If only I had executed over these years, I would have already been successful at the age of 24. But I was not able to succeed when I was 24.
Yeah,
that's
I
where.
Agree.
That's where it is. That's where it is. Like till 2017, I would say I was just learning and sharing. But since 2017, I'm learning, applying, and sharing.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a trick question saying what would you tell your younger self, because even if you could give that advice, what you went through was a fact of life experience to get to that point anyway. You know, you have to go through those difficult times of failing and going and failing and going.
So that's where I said, like, I wish there was some divine force, or maybe there was some divine force since the age of 18 who was subconsciously telling me that keep executing. Whether I was a call center guy, whether I was a college kid, whether I was taking a drop, I was just like, can you imagine, like, I took 2 drops, but still I went to the college. See, when I was not executing to that level where I had to execute, and finally I executed and I took a drop for the final time, which was 3rd time. Then once again I'm into a call center journey. I'm not able to focus that much via some other things, and I'm into depression twice. Why? Because I was not able to execute. But there was some divine force which was always telling me, keep executing. And that's where I finally figured out. And till this point in time, right now as well, I have a lot of challenges in my life. Alright? Everybody has their challenges to that level. But now, still I'm saying to myself, like when I would be 55, and if somebody says that what advice would you give me to a 30-year-old Pratik, and I would just say, keep executing. Learn, apply, share. Daily learn something new in your life. Daily apply that something new which you have learned in your life, and daily share that something new which you have learned and applied in your life with other people. The best way to empower yourself is to empower other people. The best way to make other people smile is to have a smile on your face. And that's what I want.
Boom.
See, I'll tell you, Richard, all these words come into picture not because I've scripted something. I didn't even know you are gonna ask me. It comes from the bottom of my heart. Why? Because I have been applying now.
Yeah, and I think really the underlying principle here is what I want to say to people who are on the level of, let's say, because I don't want to confuse people between executing means they have to be on social media and they have to be executing like this way. I just mean, and what people should take from this is keep going and don't actually give up. You know, that's really the message.
Taking one step at a time with 100% in it.
Yeah.
Right? You remember there is one quote from this movie, The Pursuit of Happiness by Will Smith. If you want it, go get it, period. If you want something, go get it, period.
I think, look, I did a podcast yesterday and I asked the guy Akshay who I was speaking to, we finished on a nice little quote that he gave me that he had learned from I think an uncle of his or a professor of his who had said to him, you know, less talking, more doing, something along those lines. And I just said, look, I want to end it there, because we can just take that away, and that's something that the audience can finish on and really think about going. So I just want you to re-say what you've just said, this little phrase.
If you want something, go get it, period. The more you give, the more you get blessed.
Boom. So I will leave it there, and I just want to say thank you, Pratik, for being on today's show.
It was my pleasure. It was my pleasure, Richard. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you, brother, and we'll catch up after this call.
For sure.
See you.
All right.
Bye,
Cheers,
brother.
man. Bye.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.